WFUM presents High School Challenge, the varsity sport of the mind. Now here's your host, Jim Gaber.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to more High School Challenge quarterfinal action. We already have two teams in our Final Four this season and two teams ready to play for that third berth. They're ready to go, so let's meet our players right away, shall we? First, from Kearsley High School, coached by Mike Skidmore, we have Matt Kenworthy. Matt is a senior involved in chess, quiz bowl, and tennis. He hopes to attend the University of Michigan, and Ann Arbor is undecided right now on a major. Eric Wagner is a freshman at Kearsley, is involved in amateur radio, quiz bowl, and marching band. He's undecided on both college and major. Sean Amadon is the captain of the team. Sean is a junior involved in Herald for Michigan the Renaissance Festival, marching band, and journalism. He's undecided on a college, but his long-term goal is to be a fiction writer. And Heath Clark rounds out the Kearsley team. Heath is a senior involved in National Honor Society, jazz band, pep band, church youth group, and of course quiz bowl. Hopes to attend the University of Michigan here in Flint and study history. That's our team from Kearsley. Congratulations to you for quarterfinals action. And now our team from North Branch, coached by Gordon Winther. We have Jacob Allen. Jacob is a senior, a National Merit semifinalist, enjoys computer programming, undecided on a college, but hopes to follow that line and go into computer engineering. Ryan Arnhold is the captain of the North Branch team. Ryan is a senior, enjoys cross-country, track, chess, line soccer, tennis, and also active in National Honor Society. He's looking at either Duke or the University of Michigan to study engineering. Kurt Hoagland is a junior at North Branch. His activities include National Honor Society. He's also interested in music, will attend Western Michigan and major in music. And rounding out the North Branch team is Bob Peplinski, a sophomore who enjoys playing golf, chess, tennis, and table tennis. Unsure of a college right now, but hopes to have a career in music. Those are our two teams for this quarterfinal match. High School Challenge is judged by Bill Deacon from Genesee Intermediate School District. Our timekeeper, scorekeeper, is Jeremy Miller. Teams, we're ready to go. Here are your rules for round one. I'll ask you a series of questions worth 10 points apiece. Player buzzing first may answer when I recognize you. If you're correct, your team scores the 10 points. If you're incorrect, the other team gets a shot at the same question. Remember, you may interrupt me anytime I'm asking a question. There's no point penalty if you're incorrect. However, at that point, I'll repeat the entire question for the other team. Good luck. Here we go with round one. And there's the bell to do it. In 1881, his defense attorneys called phrenologists who testified that the shape of his skull proved he was Sean Kearsley.
Elephant Man?
It's incorrect. In 1881, his defense attorneys called phrenologists testified the shape of his skull proved he was insane. But the jury took only 7 minutes to find Charles Guiteau guilty of killing the President of the United States. Bob, North Branch.
Garfield.
Garfield is correct. Your next toss-up teams, the Cenozoic era, the most recent geological era, is divided into 7 epochs. One of them, Pleistocene epoch, gets its more familiar name from the severe weather conditions. Sean Kearsley.
Ice Age.
Ice Age is correct. In French, au revoir literally means until the next seeing. What German phrase, Ryan, North Branch?
Auf Wiedersehen.
That's correct. The Book of Snobs, Henry Esmond, the Virginians, Ryan, North Branch.
Willa Cather.
That's incorrect. The Book of Snobs, Henry Esmond, the Virginians, and Barry Lyndon are all works by this 19th century English author. Who was he? Time's up. William Makepeace Thackeray is the answer. Here's your next toss-up teams. The National Congress of 1885, the 1916 Lucknow Pact, the Montague Declaration of 1917, and the Lahore Congresses of 1929 and 1940 were significant events that helped establish this nation's Heath Kearsley.
Germany.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat. The National Congress of 1885, the 1916 Lucknow Pact, the Montague Declaration of 1917, excuse me, and the Lahore Congresses of 1929 and 1940 were significant events that helped establish this nation's independence. Which country is it? Jacob, North Branch.
Yugoslavia.
It's also incorrect. India is the correct answer. Here's another toss-up. The major works of this classical French painter include Napoleon Crossing the Alps, the Oath of Horatii, and the Death of Marat. Ryan, North Branch. Time. I'll repeat. The major works of this classical French painter include Napoleon Crossing the Alps, the Oath of Horatii, and the Death of Marat. Name this artist. Sean Kearsley.
Renoir.
It's incorrect. Jacques-Louis David is the answer. Here's your next toss-up. They're electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths ranging from a nanometer to a picometer. They can be detected with phosphor screens and photographic plates. What kind of rays? Sean Kearsley.
X-rays.
X-rays is the correct answer. Her role in a landmark court decision is discussed in, in her autobiography, I Am Roe, who was known as Jane Roe in the 1973 Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade. Time's up. It was Norma McCorvey. And here's your next toss-up. Louise de la Volière, Madame de Montespan, Madame de Maintenon were all among the mistresses of this French king. He secretly married Madame de Maintenon in 1683. Which king is it? Sean Kearsley.
Louis XIV.
That's correct. Here's your next toss-up. If you travel due west from Vermont or Massachusetts or Connecticut, what state would you reach first? Eric Kearsley.
New York.
New York is correct. He followed Benjamin Franklin as minister to France. He also, Ryan, North Branch.
Jefferson.
Jefferson is correct. The Yukon Flats, Yukon Delta, and Yukon Charlie Rivers National Refuges are located here, which makes sense since the state borders the Yukon Territory. Which United States? Eric Kearsley.
Alaska.
Alaska is correct. Her simplicity and sincerity caused the King of France to marry her. In Shakespeare's play, who is the youngest daughter of King Lear? Ryan, North Branch.
Reagan.
It's incorrect. You may take it, Kearsley. Time's up. Cordelia is the answer. Bush babies, tarsiers, lemurs, and monkeys are all members of this order. Ryan, North Branch.
Primates.
Primates is correct. In 1977, Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs in one World Series game. Who is the Bob, North Branch?
Hank Aaron.
It's incorrect. In 1977, Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs in one World Series game. Who is the only other player to duplicate the feat? Twice in 1926 and in 1928. Keith Kearsley.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is correct.
That's a different name.
Crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity were the charges against Goering, Hess, Van Ribbentrop, and other Heath Kearsley.
Nuremberg trials.
That's correct. Compound math is what you use when you add non-decimal units to one another. For example, add the following. 2 feet 6 inches to 1 yard 2 feet 8 inches. Ryan, North Branch.
98 inches.
I need it broken down. Time's up. You may take it, Kearsley. Kearsley, Sean.
9 feet 2 inches.
That's incorrect. 2 yards 2 feet 2 inches is what I needed. The librettos he wrote for his operas were based on Norse and German legends. Who wrote Tannhauser, Ryan, North Branch.
Wagner.
Wagner is correct. The name of this Wall Street brokerage firm ends with Pierce, Fenner, and Smith. What are the first 2 names of this famous partnership? Jacob, North Branch.
Doran Mayhew.
That's incorrect. Kearsley? Time's up. Merrill Lynch. The answer. In 1951, William Morgan received a standing ovation at a meeting of the American Astronomical Society because Morgan had finally determined the structure of the Milky Way galaxy. What, Ryan, North Branch?
Spiral.
That's correct. On April 12, 1961, the entire flight took only 1 hour and 48 minutes, but that's all it took to orbit the Earth once. Heath Kearsley.
John Glenn.
It's incorrect. On April 12, 1961, the entire flight took only 1 hour and 48 minutes. Jacob North Branch.
Gemini.
It's also incorrect. Yuri Gagarin is the answer I was after. Here's your next toss-up. Tommy Tiptoes, Mrs. Tiggy Winkle, Sean Kearsley. Time? Tommy, was the buzzer first or was his bell first? So I take his answer? Okay, I will call on Bob North Branch. It's incorrect. I was after the creator of Flopsy, Mopsy, and Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter. Okay, that ends our first round, a very close game. North Branch, you trail, so that does give you the right to go first in our lightning round. I'm about to give you your choice of 3 categories. Once you've selected, you'll have 60 seconds to answer up to 10 questions in that category. You may consult during this round, and you don't have to buzz in, but I'll only be accepting answers from Ryan, the team captain. If you don't know an answer, you must say pass before I continue. We'll give you 10 points for each correct answer, a 20-point bonus if all 10 are correct. North Branch, once your 60 seconds are up, Kearsley, you'll have 30 seconds in which to answer any question they failed to answer. Then you'll choose from the remaining 2 categories, and we'll repeat the process. North Branch, your choices are A Quiet Start, Let's Play Doctor, or Dear John.
With John. Maybe people with names with John. Yeah, it'd be hard. There's a lot of people with John. Well, it's not like gonna be like people who've never had a quiet start. Probably has first letter. First letter is probably silent.
And I'll need a choice.
What do you think? Quiet start.
Okay, some words start quietly, very quietly. In fact, you don't pronounce the first letter at all. For 10 points, identify these people, places, and things whose name all begin with a silent letter. Here we go. We begin with number 1. Alexander I, Nicholas II, and Ivan IV.
Sorry.
That's correct. Food poisoning caused by bacteria or bacterial toxins.
No. Pass.
Book of the Old Testament said to have been written by King David.
Psalms.
Correct. Branch of psychology created by Sigmund Freud.
Psychoanalyst.
That's correct. City in Tennessee, home of the University of Tennessee.
Knoxville.
Correct. Large African antelope, also known as the wildebeest.
New.
Correct. His most famous overture was written in 1880, not 1812.
Tchaikovsky.
Correct. This part of the arm connects the radius and ulna to the carpals and metacarpals.
Wrist.
Correct. 3,600 seconds.
Hour.
Correct. A formula or a rhyme or abbreviation used to help memorization.
Mnemonic device.
That's correct. And that's 9 out of 10. We'll reset to 30 seconds. Remember, the first letter is silent. Kearsley, food poisoning caused by bacteria or bacterial toxins.
Botulism.
That's incorrect. Ptomaine, ptomaine is the answer. And now, Kearsley, you may select between A Quiet Start, between Let's Play Doctor and Dear John.
Dear John.
John is a common name, so this should be common knowledge. For 10 points each, identify these Johns. We begin with number 1. First U.S. president named John.
John Adams.
Correct. Last U.S. president named John.
John Kennedy.
Correct. Spanish for John.
Jose.
Incorrect. He wrote the soundtrack for The Lion King.
Elton John.
Correct. Like our Uncle Sam, he's the symbol of Great Britain.
John Bull. John Bull.
incorrect. Italian for John.
Pass.
In Longfellow's poem, he has to speak for himself.
John Smith.
It's incorrect. His real name is Carl Votia.
Pass.
Irish for John.
Sean.
Correct. She recorded Magic and Physical and starred in Grease.
Olivia Newton-John.
That's correct. That's all 10. And we'll score 60 points for Kearsley with 6 correct.
Oh, man.
And we've reset to 30. Here we go. North Branch, Spanish for John.
Juan.
Correct. Italian for John.
Giovanni.
Correct. In Longfellow's poem, he has to speak for himself.
John, what? Who's in?
John
It wasn't like the Miles Standish.
John Winthrop.
Incorrect. His real name is Carl Votia.
Oh, John Paul. Pope John Paul.
Pope John Paul is
Pope John Paul.
Pope John Paul. Second.
That's correct.
Is that the last one?
And that's it. You have one that you've missed between you. In Longfellow's poem, he has to speak for himself. Speak for yourself, John Alden, is what I needed there. But remember, teams, this round you're playing 10-point toss-up questions for the right to 10 points of extra credit. Also remember, you may consult during the extra credit questions only. Next time you hear our signal, that will signal the end of play. At that point, we'll continue the extra credit cycle on that particular question all the way to conclusion. Good luck. Here we go. His painting of Bacchus and Ariadne is featured on the box cover of Microsoft's art gallery, CD-ROM. Who was this 16th century Renaissance mask? Sean Kearsley.
Leonardo da Vinci.
It's incorrect. His painting of Bacchus and Ariadne is featured on the box cover of Microsoft's art gallery, CD-ROM. Who was this 16th century Renaissance master born Tiziano Baccelio? Jacob, North Branch.
Titian.
Titian is the correct answer.
Redo it.
This radio, oh, I'm sorry, this is a bonus or extra credit to North Branch. This radioactive element was used in the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki. Isotope 239 can be created by neutron irradiation of uranium-238. What element is this?
Plutonium.
That's correct. Here's your next toss-up, teams. In one book, he had to fight a glob called the Oobleck. In another, he had 500 hats. Who was this? Ryan, North Branch.
Dr. Seuss.
It's incorrect. In one book, he had to fight a glob called Oobleck. In another, he had 500 hats. Who was this Dr. Seuss character? Heath Kearsley.
The Cat in the Hat.
That's incorrect. Bartholomew Cubbins is the answer. And here's another toss-up. These Afrikaners descended from the Dutch and French. Jacob, North Branch.
Boris.
Boers is correct. Your extra credit, North Branch. The time you won your town the race, we cheered you through the marketplace. Man and boy stood cheering by, and home we brought you, shoulder high. According to the title of this A.E. Housman poem, to whom is the poet speaking?
An athlete dying young.
That's the correct answer. Toss-up, teams. It was the first U.S. consumer product legally sold in the Soviet Union. Heath Kearsley.
Coca-Cola.
It's incorrect. It was the first U.S. consumer product legally sold in the Soviet Union. James Dean did a commercial for it. Richard Nixon was a company lawyer. Hugh Hefner and Elvis Presley both called it their favorite drink. Michael Jackson made it the drink that Clint, North Branch.
Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi-Cola is the correct answer. Your extra credit, North Branch. In the late 19th century, Indian battles fought in this state included Killdeer Mountain, Cedar Creek, Yellowstone, and Little Bighorn. What state is it?
Montana.
That's correct. Another toss-up, teams. At least one critic thinks that this novel contains an unsolved murder mystery. His solution? He thinks Chillingworth poisoned Eric Kearsley.
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter is the correct answer. Your extra credit, Kearsley. Oscar Wilde called it merely gossip. For Napoleon, it was a fable agreed upon. In the ancient proverb, it repeats itself. Say Henry Ford, it was bunk.
History.
That's correct. Your next toss-up, teams. It's a colorless, oily liquid with the chemical formula C3H5N3O9. First produced commercially by Alfred Nobel, it's used as a heart medicine and as an Clint North Branch.
Nitroglycerin.
Nitroglycerin is the correct answer. Your extra credit? 6 days after the Great London Fire ended, he submitted his plans for rebuilding the city, including 30 new churches and a new dome for its greatest cathedral. Who was this English classical architect?
Ren.
Ren, is he English? Ren.
Ren is correct. Another toss-up. In his 1921 book, Psychodiagnostics, he created a psychological test and named it for himself. Sean Kearsley.
Rorschach.
That's correct. Your extra credit, Kearsley, along with J.S. Bach and M.C. Escher, this logician completes the eternal golden braid of Douglas Hofstadter's Pulitzer Prize-winning 1979 work. Who is this Austrian-American mathematician?
Euclid?
That's incorrect. Kurt Gödel is the correct answer, his incompleteness theorem. Here's another toss-up. Leonardo da Vinci wrote his diary in a backward script that can be read in a mirror. What English poet wrote his poems backward on metal plates so that when they were engraved and colored, they would appear correctly to the reader? Ryan North Branch.
Johnson.
It's incorrect. Kearsley, you may take it. Kearsley Heath.
Browning.
William Blake is the correct answer. And here's another toss-up. Founded in Fayette, New York, about 1830, they left a few years later under the leadership Heath Kearsley.
Mormons.
Mormons is correct. Kearsley, your extra credit. Some astronomers think we owe our existence to them. Some say they'll be the death of us. One may have brought the molecules of life to Earth.
Meteors.
That's incorrect. The correct answer I needed is comets. Another toss-up. According to Greek mythology, her father Zeus swallowed her mother. After 9 months, Hephaestus split Zeus's head with an axe. Clint North Branch.
Athena.
Athena is correct. Extra credit to North Branch. After inventing the microchip, Robert Noyce left to form a new company. That company is now America's largest producer of microchips, including the recent defective Pentium chip. What company is it?
Intel.
Intel is correct. Toss-up, teams. The title character of this Shakespearean play gives freely to his friends until his creditors come to collect. His friends, Ryan North Branch.
The Merchant of Venice.
That's incorrect. The title character of this Shakespearean play gives freely to his friends until his creditors come to collect. His friends desert him, and he goes to live in a cave where he dies. Who is this Athenian misanthrope? Is it Timon, Coriolanus, or Pericles? Sean Kearsley.
Pericles.
It's Timon of Athens. That's the answer. And we go to another toss-up. It's the province most recently admitted to the Dominion of Canada in 1949. Which eastern province is it? Bob North Branch.
Prince Edward Island.
That's incorrect. You may take it Kearsley. Kearsley Heath.
Nova Scotia.
It's also incorrect. Newfoundland is the correct answer. And we go to another toss-up. In 1962, this planet was explored by Mariner 2. Ryan North Branch.
Mars.
It's incorrect. Sean Kearsley.
Venus.
Venus is the correct answer. Kearsley, your extra credit. For 60 years, from 1872 until the election of Franklin Roosevelt in 1932, only 2 Democrats were elected president. One of them was Woodrow Wilson. Who was the other?
Garfield.
It's incorrect. Grover Cleveland was the other one. And here's another toss-up. Mexico is the southernmost country in North America. What is the northern? Sean Kearsley.
Canada.
It's incorrect. Mexico is the southernmost country in North America. What is the northernmost country in South America? Bob North Branch.
Colombia.
Colombia is the correct answer. There's our bell, but you do get the bonus, North Branch. It was created to solve a strange problem. How many rabbits would be produced by a single pair if each new pair produced another rabbit every month? So naturally, the series
Fibonacci
begins
sequence.
1, 1, 2.
Fibonacci
What is this strange series of numbers?
Fibonacci sequence.
That's the correct answer. And that's also the end of our game, a good game indeed. Kearsley, congratulations to you on a fine season and tournament here at High School Challenge. And North Branch, congratulations to you for moving on to the third of our Final Four teams in this year's competition. We'll be back for our fourth Final Four game, or our fourth quarterfinal round in just a moment. Until then, I'm Jim Gaber. We'll see you.